Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susie, the owner and creator here. I love to go thrift store shopping and I love to make over those items to resell in my booth and here on YouTube. I love to show you guys how I do that. Today's video is going to be another thrift store makeover video. For project number one, it is a super simple one, but is one of my best sellers. I love to buy these shorter candlesticks, especially the metal ones, and I made over this wall hanging medallion thing a few months ago in a video, and I just didn't like it, but they fit together perfectly. So I'm actually going to use some tight bond glue to glue this candlestick to the bottom of that wall medallion, and it's a perfect fit for one of the many cloches I have. So you want to put this glue around it and let it sit for a day before you mess with it. Now, I'm the most impatient person ever when I am crafting, so I did not do that. I put a bead of hot glue around it so I would have some instant hold, and then I went over the entire thing with with Bellwood Fusion paint and white wax, and then after it was dry the next day, I peeled off the hot glue and repainted that part, and this turned out perfect, and look how perfectly that cloche fits on there. Project number two is a very simple one as well. I picked up this cross a few months back. It's a really good size. It's just plastic, but I thought that the shape of it was very interesting. So I am simply going to use the same Bellwood paint, and I'm going to give this cross 2 good coats. When the first coat, you can see that I'm having to stipple and swirl and everything to get down into all those details, which of course, if you've been watching my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm going to bring out those details with some wax. I know y'all may get tired of seeing me do that, but y'all, I promise this stuff sells. Anytime I paint it with a light, nice green color and put some white wax over it, it is going to sell. Now, I'm not going to be selling this cross. I have the perfect spot in my dining room, and I want to keep this one for myself, but so I got 2 coats painted on here, and like I said, this is Bellwood. It's like this really soft green gray color, and I love the way that it dries down, and the white wax really makes it look so nice. So I'm going to take a little wax brush, and I'm going to go over the entire thing with white wax and then wipe it back. So I picked up this faux orchid in this pot, and it's got a lot of texture, but it's just a really ugly pot. But I really did like the texture, so I'm going to embrace that, and we're going to use Fresco aging powder. This is a paint additive. It adds texture to your paint. You can mix it with any paint. The directions say to mix half and half, but you can mix it as thick or as thin as you want, depending on how much texture you want. So I promise I'm going to move away from this bell wood in this video, but for now, I'm going to do one more project, and like I said, I'm mixing this up pretty thickly. I really want lots and lots of texture on this little pot. So to put it on, I'm going to stipple and brush and just go in all different directions, really promoting all of that texture from this paint and the texture that is already on the pot. Okay, so I did 2 coats, and I also took some of that bell wood and painted in that white spot in the foam. And then I found this pretty moth that was the perfect size and the perfect color to go onto this pot. I'm almost sure this was out of the entomology transfer book, but you'll find butterflies in lots of different IOD transfers. And don't forget, you can get all of these products that I'm using in today's video on my website, susieonthefarm.com. And if you've never used a transfer before, you just rub it onto your surface and then with the tool that it comes with, and then burnish it in. Now I'm going to go ahead and use some white wax on this, but first I want to clear wax it. And the reason I'm doing this is just to give me a little bit more control, because that white wax will sit in all of that amazing texture and stay in there. So I wanted to have a way to kind of erase it, and clear wax is a perfect way to do that if I get too much white wax in one spot. So then I'm going to come back with the white wax and do the same thing. Wipe it back and see how it stays in there in some of those spots really good. I really wanted that look, and this makes it look like almost like a cement. Okay, so then I am going to cover the top with some reindeer moss and a little bit of Spanish moss as well. I'm just going to use some hot glue to put that in there, and then this little project is done. I'm also keeping this for myself. I have got it on my mantle in the living room. I love orchids and all live plants, and I have so many throughout my house that it's hard to tell what's live and what is fake, but I love them all. Moving on to project number 4 and away from the bellwood paint, I picked up these 2 small bird prints in these gold frames. I love the size of them, and all I want to do is paint the frames. I know that's a super simple, but it's such an easy way to update something old and outdated. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the glass out of these, so I did tape them off, but most of the time, I won't even bother taping them off. You can easily scrape the fusion paint off of glass, but for some reason I taped them off this time, so that's okay too. I'm going to be using Chateau. This pairs really well with the bellwood and really any color, if I'm being honest. It's a beautiful off-white color, and I just love it. It's one of my absolute favorite fusion paint colors. So I'm going to go over both of these with 2 coats of the Chateau paint. I'm going to let that dry, and then I'm going to do the same thing we did with the pot. I went ahead and took the tape off thinking that I was not going to do this step, but then I got to looking at those frames and I felt like they just needed just a little bit more. So first I'm going to take a small brush, since I already took the tape off, and just carefully not getting any wax onto the glass, and I'm going to go over the whole thing with clear wax first, And then we're going to come back with dark wax, same thing. If I put clear wax on it, it's easier for me to wipe back the dark wax. And for the clear wax, I'm using the Fusion Furniture Wax. There's scented ones. This happens to be a scented one because I opened it and I've been using it a very long time. And then I'm going to come back with Fusion's Aging Wax. This is a dark wax and it will stick just slightly in all those crevices and just give a little bit more detail to these frames. Okay, so project number 5, it has been a minute since I have done any rolling pins. I think I've sold out. I sell rolling pins just like they are. I always pick them up, and then sometimes I will also upcycle them. Just to be clear, because I get lots of comments and I really am unable to go in and answer all those. These rolling pins are not food safe, as are everything that I do pretty much is just decor use only. Rolling pins are in abundance everywhere. I'm going to decoupage this one with this wallpaper. This is a Roycycle decoupage paper, and it's so beautiful and romantic and perfect for this time of year. So I cut the decoupage paper down where it would hang over just a little bit on the sides. And then I'm going to simply decoupage it on here. Now, it was a little tricky here, so I tried a couple of different ways to decoupage this on. I wanted to not have any wrinkles, so I thought the best way to do that would be to roll it on there. That didn't work out quite like I like it. It got a little crooked, but I'm sure if you were just a little bit more careful, it would be fine. So I ended up doing it this way with the normal way I do things and doing little areas at a time, and I was able to not have any wrinkles that way. I did not wet the paper. I thought I had this cut to the exact perfect size, so I did not want it stretching or getting any larger. But then when I got around to the other side, I did have a little bit of overhang, and I should have cut that off because you can see where the papers overlap there just a little bit. But that's no problem. This is decor. All you got to do is turn that towards the back of your project. So I got it all decoupaged on, and then I let the paper completely dry. I took my little finger sander and got all the excess off of the edges that way. And then I am going to paint the handles. Now, pink is not a normal color that I use, but I opened this rose water and I love it. It is so beautiful and feminine, and I just fell in love with it, and I'm going to be using it for a few projects. So I painted the handles, and then I also painted the end of the rolling pin with this rosewood. And then to finish this off, I'm just going to decorate it with a little bit of some lace that I have. I'm going to tear some lace, do a little shabby chic bow on it, and also put a little rose in it. And this thing turned out so cute. But before I show you the final project of it, I made a little something to go with it. So we'll do that one first. just to style with the rolling pin, I decided to paint up a few of the wooden utensils that I've been collecting lately. I just used the same bell wood, and I was intending to paint the entire spoons bell wood, but I got part of it painted. I thought, let's do these two-tone, because I had that chateau sitting right there, and these colors pair so well together. So I didn't tape it off or anything. I just carefully did a stopping point with the rose water. I let that dry, and then I came back and did the chateau on the bottom, and these turned out so cute painted this way. I absolutely loved how they turned out. To finish these off, I found this cute little heart stamp in the Pennsylvania Folk stamp. I'm sure there's some other hearts, but this was the first one that I came to, and I thought it was a perfect fit for inside the solid spoon. So I just used some of the white IOD decor ink, inked up my stamp, and then pressed it into the center to just embellish this little spoon a little bit more. Tied it up with the same ribbon and lace, put some greenery and another little rose in it, and now it is the perfect little pair with the rolling pin. And I have styled them in a thrifted crock, and they turned out really cute. I hope you guys have enjoyed this thrift flip. I have one more for you, and it is my favorite in this video. Don't forget to leave a comment below what was your favorite project in today's video. I love to read you guys' comments, even though I may not have time to respond to them. I do read them all, and when you comment and like, it also helps YouTube know that you're enjoying this content, and it shares it out with everyone else. So thank you guys so much for doing that and supporting my channel. And I am loving this whole vignette. It's very soft and romantic and perfect for Valentine's Day. For today's final project, I was so happy with how it turned out, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So I just grabbed this very 90s frame out of my stash. I bought it because I really like the ornate detail on the frame. I am going to paint glass and everything with 2 coats of this rose water. Y'all, I can't tell you how much I'm loving this pink, and I'm not a pink person. As you can see, for the first coat, I do have to stipple and push in pretty hard to get it into all those details on the frame. So I did 2 coats on this frame, and then I also had a resin casting frame that I had previously made, and I'm also going to paint it with 2 coats of the rose water. After the 2 coats of paint have dried, I went to my ephemeral melange transfer book because roses is kind of the theme for this video, and I found a pretty little rose seed packet. I'm going to put it directly in the center of the frame. I'm not a measurer. I am definitely an eyer, so that looks pretty good to me, and it looked pretty center when I finished as well. So if you've never used a transfer, they're super easy. All your transfers come with this little transfer tool, and you just rub on it until it releases onto your project, slowly pulling up the plastic backing. And then to finish it off, you want to take your plastic backing and rub it over just to make sure all the little pieces are stuck down good, and that is called burnishing. Once I got the transfer on, then I put the frame on the top of it with probably Titebond or hot glue. Yeah, I think I used hot glue here. It was no problem to glue that down. Once I got it glued on, I wanted to kind of make this multi-dimensional. So I pulled some roses from my stash, cut a few down, and then arranged them how I like them in the middle, the side of the frame, and hot glued them down. I don't know about y'all, but in my transfer scrap bag, I have tons of leaves from different transfers that I didn't use. So I thought to stick with the multi-dimensional here, I would put a few leaves, transfer leaves on here as well. Some of them are up against the frame, and I just thought that this finished this off so nicely. Didn't think about it when I was doing this project, but as I'm editing this video, I'm thinking how pretty it would have been if I had put that wallpaper, decoupage paper behind the small frame there on the glass. Not sure how that would have turned out, but I'm sure it would have been pretty, but I absolutely love this way too. Finally, to finish this off, I probably should have done some of this beforehand too. Before I had all the roses, I'm going to white wax around the entire frame just to highlight some of those details on the frame and finish this off and seal in the transfers and everything. So I hope that y'all have enjoyed this thrift store makeover video. Thank you guys so much for watching my channel. Don't forget to like this video and share it out to your friends if you don't care. Make sure you're subscribed and ring that notification bell so you know when I upload a new video every Wednesday night. Hope that y'all have enjoyed this, and I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I will see you again next week.